Well, Americans were listening to President Trump's claims of election vulnerabilities last week. Some Republican election officials were apparently rolling their eyes, perhaps because of the facts.
Yeah, one GOP official tells CNN their group chat during the speech was filled with, quote, a lot of laughing emojis and like, you got to be kidding me. That was all this was. CNN's Gabe Cohen has this new reporting. Gabe, tell us what you're hearing from Republicans privately, because it's very different from what they're saying publicly.
Yeah, so this week I was with our colleague Marshall Cohen at this conference for state election directors, and we talked to these Republican officials. And frankly, over these 2 days, the president, the administration, it barely came up at the conference. And what we found talking to these Republicans is they didn't want to talk about Trump. They didn't want to talk about these threats. In fact, one of them specifically told me, speaking on condition of anonymity, we all know that elections are not rigged, but we have to keep our heads down and do our jobs. Another told us they had seen most of that information that was declassified by the president and discussed during that primetime address. And they essentially said, we have seen all this information. It does not move the needle. It does not prove widespread election fraud or that U.S. elections are not secure, but they want to stay out of the crossfire right now and what the administration is doing, particularly because as recently as Friday, we heard new threats from the Department of Homeland Security and Secretary Markwayne Mullin, who said, you know, election officials in states that do not firmly comply or do not adequately secure elections, they could face serious penalty, whether it's fines or even prison time. He talked about that. And so I spoke to one election official in a deep red state who said sort of quietly, it's extremely alarming when the administration is talking like that. And this feeling that sort of nobody is safe, including Republicans. And just a couple weeks ago, the Department of Justice sent letters to all 50 states with very similar sort of vague threats. And we saw the Attorney General of the state of Idaho respond with a really sharp letter, basically saying, your friends here in Idaho, we do not take kindly to being threatened. So it's not going over well.
I mean, the trouble is the threat is not just to the individuals. The threat's to the election and the election results, because the concern is the president will use these false accusations to justify action, to question the results of the elections, or perhaps even challenge or prevent winning candidates from being seated. So for the sake of our audience, what does the actual data show?
Well, there's this data that the Department of Homeland Security put out last week, which has become a focus for a lot of people. I want to be clear, this data is extremely messy and needs to be vetted and confirmed. There are a couple aspects of it. So first off, the Department of Homeland Security said they had reviewed public voter data from 4 specific states, California, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Nevada, and found tens of thousands, I think more than 200,000 non-citizens on the roll. We're talking about potential non-citizens because they were looking at public data. Even officials from those states immediately came out and they said, show us your math. We have no idea where that information is coming from.
There are false positives.
Right, because there are many false positives that are found through this DHS system. But also they reviewed data from several Republican states who had voluntarily handed over their full unredacted voter lists. And what DHS said was that they had found 28,000 non-citizens. They said 28,000 non-citizens. In reality, once again, we are talking about potential non-citizens, even the Republican officials in those numbers, and they are likely wildly inflated. But just to show you the numbers, the raw data that DHS had provided for North Carolina and Georgia, I think they said about 1,500 potential non-citizens were found in North Carolina, and the number was somewhere around 2,600 for Georgia. What we would be talking about there is about 0.02% of North Carolina's electorate and about 0.03% of Georgia's electorate. And I talked to election officials in Georgia who had looked at those numbers. Again, they're still vetting them, but they said, from what we can tell of this list of 2,600 people, only 20 of them, about 20 of them, have ever cast a ballot in the state. And we don't even know if those people are non-citizens. 20 people would amount to 0.0003% in Georgia. But again, don't get so fixated on the specific number. The point is, officials on both sides of the aisle are looking at these numbers that, again, are messy and likely inflated, and they're saying still, if all of them voted, it would not really prove this crisis of widespread voter fraud or non-citizen voting.
And yet the president continues to spread the lie. Yeah.
Gabe Cohen, thank you so much for taking us through that. Appreciate it. And a new hour of